Thursday walkthrough brought to you by Carle, the official healthcare provider of Fighting Illini Athletics. Welcome back to the Thursday walkthrough. Martin O'Donnell joined as always by Coach Lovie Smith. And Coach, this is a big week for the football program, obviously with the official dedication of the Smith Football Center and also happening right before it, the official dedication of the Dick Butkus statue. What does it mean, starting with the statue? What's the importance of that, for this team, for this program, and kind of having that created and unveiled this weekend?
Well, Martin, for the statue, it means an awful lot. It's always about the history of your program. Players, great players, that means so much to your program that came before you. This is a young generation that, of course, some of them didn't actually see a guy like Dick Butkus play, but they've heard about him. And now to have a reminder every day they walk into the building, you get a chance to see it. And that pressure of performing and to that standard. Of course, you come into the stadium, you see his number, but that doesn't mean an awful lot to him. So to have him there looking at him each day is big. And then for the building, everything is about it. To officially dedicate the building, we've been in it for a while, but for it the official day to finally get here, the building has been everything for our program we expected it to be.
Great. And do you wind up seeing the players more than you did before? Has it helped with kind of the coaching staff in terms of being around them? What are some of the things that stand out to you most about it in practice now that it's been lived in for a month and a half, 2 months?
Well, first off, just start with, coaches' offices. We all are there. Easy access for the players to get there. And guys want to come into a building like that. You mentioned we also set the building up where players in their free time would want to just hang out there, whether it's bowling, the bowling alley, the recovery room, in the locker room. So that has kept, what I've seen is players are in the building a lot more, and why wouldn't you want to be there? Location, we look out over our practice fields now. That's a different field too. So everything about it and everything we wanted, again, this facility to be is exactly what it's at.
Well, and here, kind of entering the 6th game of the season, record isn't what we want it to be right now, but there's a lot of football left to be played. Is that one of the messages that you're conveying to the team this week?
Yes, we're almost halfway through our season, so just picture yourself, we're a touchdown, a field goal behind going into the half. That's where we are, with a chance to really get the problems, some of the problems we have, get them solved, to make corrections, to make adjustments. And in an ideal world, you would like to do that against an opponent with a name like Michigan has. The last time we played, the fans were outstanding. Student section was outstanding. Our players felt their energy. I know we'll have the same thing this week, and what a great way to get back off on a winning foot, on the right foot, to start it this weekend.
Yeah, fantastic crowd was there for Nebraska. And, one of the things I know that's always a goal for your defense is to score. And so putting up 2 defensive touchdowns last week against Minnesota, obviously, those are momentum-changing plays. But what are some of the other things, other points of emphasis for the defense this week going into the Michigan game?
Well, scoring was a big deal. We've been talking about it an awful long time. Of course, it's about taking the ball away. So that was big to get that. But point of emphasis for us this week is to tackle better. It's as simple as that. A lot of the big plays, which leads to more yardage, big yardage, your rankings go down based on that. Teams keep drives going. We have to do a better job of wrapping up and keeping play that's designed to get minimum yards, keep it to a minimum gain.
Well, and looking at the other side of the ball, one of the strengths of this team being the offensive line, is that a specific challenge for them this week, knowing this Michigan defense? I think they gave up 1 yard rushing to Iowa last week. Is that something where those guys are challenged by the coaching staff, during the course of the week, or is that something that, how does that get emphasized?
Well, I think first off, meeting-wise, when you go over the statistics, this is what this Michigan defense has done, a big challenge for our offense. And I think as an offensive line, you're going to take this challenge to heart to be able, when most teams haven't been able to run the football against them, we're a running team. So we have to meet, on what we want to do against what they do best. We have to meet it head on, and that's what we're planning on doing.
Well, and talking a little bit about the rushing attack, as you mentioned, we are a rushing team, have been a rushing team. As you look at the rushing attack so far this year, is it one guy getting tripped up, or is it just a little bit out of sync? What have you noticed, or is it just kind of a little bit of inconsistency?
It's definitely been a lot of inconsistent play. Few guys out, yes. And then for us, we have to keep that commitment to the run. There are opportunities, and sometimes you have to keep going and just get carries as much as anything. If you're a running team, that's what you have to look at. I mean, how many times we're actually running the football. And Reggie Corbin, we have our backs there still. And again, almost halfway through, and now we get a chance to make adjustments. One of those adjustments has to be with us being more committed to the run.
Well, that certainly makes sense. And, again, the Michigan Wolverines coming into Champaign, are you a fan of the X-Men? Talking about Wolverine?
No.
Are you familiar with them?
My kind of missed me a little bit with my children, so not really.
Okay.
Not really.
Okay. Well, so you wouldn't have a favorite X-Men movie then, probably?
I have never seen you say like, man, is that
X-Men? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen one of those movies.
You'd like Logan. It's pretty good.
I would.
It's kind of a superhero meets a Western, sort of.
Well, I'm definitely.
There's also a guy named Professor X, I think.
Okay, you know that I'm a big Western movie guy, so action heroes, of course, is a big thing for me. So I'm sure I would. I'll put that on my list of things to do someday.
Someday. Okay. Would you want me to just email that to you, text it? How do you want me?
That would
help.
help.
Me to start compiling a list?
Modern technology, a text would work.
Okay. Got it. Well, Coach, thank you for your time, and thank you for stopping by the Thursday Walkthrough. The Thursday Walkthrough brought to you by Carle, the official healthcare provider of Fighting Illini Athletics.
Looking for a card that gives you more? Illini Visa Rewards Card. Earn points every day to fly any airline, anytime, no blackout dates. The Illini Visa Rewards Card. Available only through U of I Community Credit Union.